Thank you for all your
What's your
time.
first name?
Chloe.
Chloe.
So my question was, is there any way for news reporters to be licensed and held accountable for reporting false or inaccurate information, similar to how medical doctors, pharmacists, lawyers have to be licensed to practice and are have consequences for violating their code of ethics and standards of practice?
Give Chloe a round of applause. Chloe, you just nailed it. And let me give you kind of my take. The Founding Fathers, and if you read their writings, you might want to look at it because you're interested in this. They really thought that the First Amendment, the freedom of the press and freedom of speech, was the most important thing. They really thought, if you read their writings, the Founding Fathers thought that freedom of the press, the First Amendment, was even more important than the government, because it was important that people got a chance to be heard and hear what was happening and all the rest. So there is a very broad berth for the press to be able to speak freely and for people to exchange their views and the like. Now, that doesn't allow people, and this was the classic legal doctrine, or journalists to shout fire in a crowded theater. They can't do that because somebody would get killed and get trampled on the way out. And there's libel and slander laws. You know about libel and slander? You can get sued, if I make something up intentionally about you, if I intentionally say you rob everybody in the neighborhood, I know that it's false, I have intent, they can be held liable, for that. But we're trying to strike a balance here between the freedom of the press and the freedom of people not to have their lives turned upside down. And it's a really hard freedom. That's why when you read about this in school, you'll see a lot of debate with people trying to figure out what to do. But that's sort of the general kind of parameters. I'm a journalist kid. My dad was a writer. He left Nazi Germany in the 30s. We all got out. He was one of the famous Ritchie boys who dropped the propaganda pamphlets on the Nazis, telling them to give up. So I really value the First Amendment, really value free speech. And I'm really disgusted that a fair number of journalists, unfortunately, are taking advantage of that freedom and hurting people. We need to step up and find ways to deal with it. But let's you and I stay in touch. If you got some good ideas, I'm all in. Let's give Chloe a real round of applause. Chloe really nailed it. We've got, I think, some other questions. The gentleman in the back has a question too, so we'll get those in. Hey, Mom, nobody can be very objective about their kid, but I can be objective about Chloe. She did a great job with that. Okay, let's get it.